William Lehman is suing his former daughter-in-law, Ashley Lehman, for destruction of property and a loan for bailing his late son out of jail.
Order. All rise. This case number 274 on the calendar in the matter of Lehman versus Lehman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Lehman, this is your former daughter-in-law, and she was married to your son, according to what I read in your complaint, for 5 years. They were together for a lot longer than that, and they have 4 children. Your son sadly committed suicide in May of this year, and it is your claim that the defendant owes you for 2 things. The first thing is for bail for your son, that you claim you loaned to her so that she could get him out of jail. The second is your claim that both of them moved into a home that you own, and that when she vacated the home before your son died, the place was a disaster. Well, let's go back to that first, and we'll get to the bail second then. Who moved into this home of yours?
My son.
When?
Ma'am, I don't know exact dates. I think he was there about 9 months.
And why did he move into the home?
Him and my ex-daughter-in-law were having a trial separation. He needed a place to stay.
So he moved in alone?
At the time, yes, ma'am.
When was the place ultimately vacated? In what month?
I want to say the very end of December.
December of last year?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you make an inspection of the home?
Around January 20. It was around Christmas time.
So it was in December?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, your son did not pass away until May of the following year.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was he between December and May?
At her residence in Gurley, Alabama.
So you knew where he was?
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you sue him? Now, I'm following the timeline that you just gave me. Your son moved into the house, and he lived there for 9 months. It is your claim that at some point, the 2 of them reconciled, and she moved into the house with the children, because they have 4 children, with your son. In any event, they all moved out in December and went where?
Gurley, Alabama.
You were in communication with him, I assume?
No, ma'am.
You were not? Not on good terms?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because destruction of my property.
Well, then why didn't you sue him?
I can't answer that.
Well, then I'm going to ask you this question. Why did you wait all this time to sue her? How do you know that it wasn't your son that caused the destruction of the property?
Gathering evidence.
It's what?
Gathering evidence, ma'am.
Well, show me the evidence that your son wasn't the one who caused the damage to your property.
I can't do that. I don't.
Well, that's a problem, you see, because if, according to you, you had 2 people living there, one was your son, who was clearly mentally troubled because of the way he died, and you elect not to sue him for the damage that was done that you clearly were aware of for 5 months, I don't understand why you now waited almost a year to sue his wife. Okay, maybe we can come up with a better answer when we finish the bail part. When was your son arrested and for what?
I think it was traffic warrants, ma'am. I'm not sure.
When?
I think it was sometime in December, early December, 2nd week in December.
How did you find out about it?
His mother called me.
His mother called you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you live with his mother?
No, ma'am.
What was your son's first name?
Justin.
Justin was arrested?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she tell you where he was?
Madison County, yes, ma'am.
So what did you do?
She said that the defendant needed $500 for bail money for my son.
And?
And I said, I'm skeptical about it, but I will loan Ashley $500.
And?
And she came and collected the $500.
Who came and collected it?
The defendant.
She came to your house, the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And collected the money?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me about the conversation that you had with her when she came to the house.
She came to the house, and I said, this is a loan. It has to be repaid within 30 days.
And what did she say?
She said she would repay it.
Is that right?
No, ma'am.
You have a paper that she signed?
I do, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
You need a promissory note?
Yeah.
I do.
Would you show this to the defendant, please? Do you remember signing that?
He said 500, correct?
Well, he said that originally it was 500. He's only suing for 250.
I signed for 250.
You signed for 250. Okay, so you promised to pay him 250.
Me and his son promised to pay him back.
No.
He was in jail. There was no way he could sign.
You signed.
Okay.